So I was like the last person on earth who should be a doctor, basically. And I was talking with my mom one day, and she was like, well, have you ever thought about being a doctor, like your dad, so you can return the favor to other people? And the favor is that I almost died when I was 16. I was in this horrible boating accident in Pensacola, Florida, where we had lived on a naval base before we moved to Oregon. So then at the last second, I had to dive to get away, and the boat propeller came and chopped me up all down my backside and all that stuff, and like down my ankles, and broke all kinds of bones, and it cut right down to like the ischium, like the pelvic bones, but somehow didn't cut the sciatic nerve. You know, I can literally see flesh trailing around me. It's absolutely, utterly a miracle that I even lived through this. Like, people don't live through that kind of thing. I go to the hospital, I had to have, surgery all night, get a colorectal surgeon, a orthopedic surgeon, and a plastic surgeon, because I had these huge wounds. I was like missing skin and muscle and stuff like that. I just can't get over how lucky I was, because now as a doctor, I know like it very much depends who's on call and what hospital you go to, But the coolest one was the plastic surgeon. He was this guy named Ian Rogers, who was an Irish guy originally. And I didn't understand it at the time, but he had done what's called, I do microsurgery now. He did a microsurgery fellowship in Australia in the 80s, one of the early ones. So he was this pretty advanced guy who had no business being in Pensacola, Florida. So he took care of me, and he actually didn't have to do anything real fancy on me, just, wound care and closing some lacerations. But he was a super cool guy. He'd come in my room, he'd be like, "Oh, Johnny, how the hell are you? Keep your chin up, don't let the bastards get you down." And all of these doctors did a perfect job, in an incredible situation. And I owe them all a lot. Long story short, I lived through this. Obviously now I'm completely fine. Right. I've run a marathon, backpacking and all that stuff. When I look back, it's only now at this age, in the last few years, do I understand that, like, by whatever definition you have, this was a miracle, And so when my mom said, "Have you thought about being a doctor, paying it forward, all that?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." That would make sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. Yeah.